Hello, everyone out there that I haven't seen in a whole month. I'm Lisa Ann Spencer. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel today. I'm taking part once again in the end of the month garden collaboration. This is hosted by Victoria and Maria, and their channels will be linked below, and as well as anyone else who is participating in this garden collaboration. Today's June 1st, Sunday. I just got back from church and I've been trying to get this video made all weekend, but I have been super busy. I've had a really busy 2 weeks, gardening, market, work, beekeeping, you name it. And in fact, I'm actually suited up from the bottom down in my bee suit because I'm about to go inspect one of my hives. So what I'm going to do right now is just jump in and do a quick garden tour for the end of May. And hopefully if you remember the one from the previous month, April, yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks. The sun has finally come out a little bit. I mean, we've still had a lot of rain, but things have grown. So along with that, the weeds have grown as well. But I'll stop talking about it and I'll just turn the camera around and give you a tour. So I was just sitting here in my barn, which is still in about the same shape as it has been, which is only partially paneled. I think I showed you the insulation last time and it's still quite junky. I've got building materials. Ooh, I did get a new electric weed eater for Mother's Day. That was fabulous. That's what you see laying on the floor there. And that pile is turnip seeds that are drying for me to save seeds. Don't think too much else is going on in here. My sink is hooked up, but it's not draining properly, so I don't use it as much as I would like to. I still got lots of potted plants, but not quite as many. I have sold several at market, and even here at home I've set up a farm stand down by the road where I've been selling plants, and hopefully I can sell some produce there as well. So here's my flower row. It is starting to produce a little bit. That's garden balsam there, or touch-me-nots. In front of that is a little short row of zinnias with a few scattered amaranth seeds. There's a little zinnia that wants to bloom, and a big daisy, a perennial from last year. Here's a lovely zinnia that has bloomed. Oh, it's not focusing. Not sure if it will. That's a California giant. So pretty. So this is going to be really pretty by next month. And behind me is 5 rows of potatoes and 1 row of onions, which is looking super good. Serenity's over there feeding critters. Where is she? You won't believe me. There she goes. Let's see. We'll just go this way. There's a volunteer sunflower growing there. And the rhubarb down at the end has bloomed. I think maybe it had bloomed last time. I dug some up to share with this guy who's a beekeeper. He says that the leaves can be used for the treatment of varroa mites. So he's going to do some experimenting, and I gave him some rhubarb to help with his experiment. Here is my row of grass with a little lettuce. I've actually harvested quite a few out of here to take to market. It's a pain in the rear to pick out all the grass, but there's a lot of good usable lettuce there, and I triple wash it, dry it, bag it, and sell that at market. This is my romaine lettuce that overwintered and is about to go to flower, so I'll be saving seeds. I have a long row of radishes that I have harvested and sold much, and then intermingled in there is carrots. So I always mix my radish and carrot seed and sow them together. And I start pulling radishes as they're ready. And that leaves lots of room and time for the carrots. So there's a radish. I got lots of those. So that's that row. My next row is kind of a pitiful little row of spinach. I mean, it's producing a little bit, but this was the pre-flood row. Some things grew, like this romaine lettuce. I'm gonna get a few out of here, but not very many. And then I've got a row of beets. And I mean, they're okay, but most of the seed got washed away. I'll get a few, as I said, but you know, not many. This next row is Swiss chard, which is being munched on by deer. And there is a big deer track right there. So the deer are munching on the Swiss chard, and my crisp head lettuce, which has made the most gorgeous heads, and it is wonderful. I'm loving it. I have grown it for several years, and I should have grown lots more. Been selling it at market. We've been eating it. Some of this Swiss chard is really big and beautiful. We did buy fencing. We'll put it up. Let's see, you see the big corner post there? We're going to join there, run a fence down this side of the garden here to there. And I think that's going to deter the rabbits and the deer that have been coming in. And of course, we'll enclose this entire area eventually. There's another row of the mesclun spring mix and radish with carrots. Lots and lots, and a lot of grass in between. I put these rows too close together. I can't get in there with my tiller, only with my weed eater, so it's always going to look bad until I till it up. My sweet peas have finally started to grow a little bit, but the deer and rabbits come down here on this end and just munch it all away. In fact, they came in last night because there was bunches of peas. I mean, there's one snow pea. Oh, looky, doesn't that look wonderful? I'm gonna go ahead and pick it because the rabbits are just gonna eat it tonight. There's a few more. Yeah, until I can keep the deer out of here, it's doing me no good. Yeah, right there. They just took the whole top of that plant off here. Yep, there's deer tracks everywhere. They just come through and they just eat as they please. So they're digging into my profits. I think I'm gonna have to go hunting this fall to get some of my profit back. So my perennial garden, not too many blooms yet. I mean, I've got a daisy there that wants to bloom. I planted a hyacinth bean in this pot and then an oregano. This coneflower is about to bloom. This is a salvia. I collected these seeds like from a dry plant at Chick-fil-A. There's a marigold left over from last year. And I've got these little asparaguses that I've put here, just waiting. A little tiny sage plant I just recently transplanted. There's a cleome. My dahlia did come back. Planted some mullein there. That is very dry. My gladiolas and a volunteer sunflower. And my fig tree that's in a pot. What else? Thyme. I've been cutting that every week. And spearmint. I cut it every week, sell at market, and have plenty to spare. So let's go over here into the coal yard. Poor Bunny. I looked over to my left to see Bunny. She is not doing well. I honestly do not think that she's going to live. garlic, cauliflower with a few iceberg lettuces sown underneath. They're pretty small still. Brussels sprouts. And they're too little to be making yet, but the plants look good. The kale is coming along nicely. I have been harvesting about 4 or 5 leaves from the bottom side every week. This one looks especially good. These down here on the end were planted much later. Let's see my little hillside here with clover that I leave for the bees, and they are working it. Not sure if you can see that, but there they are. See two. I planted a pumpkin in the barrel recently. Got a row of broccoli, and there's one right there that needs to be harvested right now. There's a few sticking up here and there. These heirloom broccolis make very small heads, which is fine because they taste 10 times better than the ones at the grocery store. But then all summer long they'll produce side shoots that taste just as delicious. This is my cabbage, and it is starting to head up quite nicely. That little head there. These do real well. And then there's my big garlics, and they are starting to send up the seed heads. You know, that's called escape. And what they do is they grow up. You see here how it turns down, and then it'll turn back up and start to go up, and it'll make a curlicue. When it makes the curlicue, you cut those off, and you can use those in recipes, like for making a garlic escape pesto. This is cauliflower, and it is not doing anything yet. It's too little. I planted a couple of butternut squash here in the shadow of my row of turnips. So I need to get the rest of those turnips seeds saved. One of the things that I have done is I go through looking at the roots, and I choose the stalks from the biggest roots, and then I'll just throw the rest in the compost. Another row of broccoli, little head there, needs to be picked all the way down, and then also another row of broccoli. So this next garden paddock is, some of it is really grassy, and that's because part of it, this was the first year that it ever got sown. Like last year, this area right here was all grass. So we got these beans, that's green beans. They're pole beans, so this one has just grabbed hold of the fence, so they'll hopefully run all the way up the fence and then produce all summer long for me. Got a row of beets here. These look much better than those over there. They haven't started really making roots yet. I mean, small ones, but too small to harvest. And then I've got a kind of a very skimpy row of bush green beans, and then a second row of bush green beans that looks better. And the reason being is because when we get here, this was gardened last year, so it's in better shape. The phone just did something really weird. The camera flashed, so hopefully this will turn out all right. Got a couple of pepper plants over here because I didn't have any room left, and then back behind there is a butter bean that will also run up the fence, but it has been growing so slow and so sparse, I just don't know if they're going to make it. This is bok choy. Grows very fast and then goes to seed very quickly. But other than making the bottom stalks kind of tough, it doesn't affect the flavor, so it's still really good. We have been enjoying it and selling it. Here is my celery. Look at these pretty stalks. And you just harvest the outer stalks as they grow, and then they continue to grow from the center. I missed a couple of rows back this way of eggplant. They're not, I mean, they're doing okay. They're tall and good looking. I have to spray them for flea beetles because they are notorious. And this little trowel variety that I'm growing here has already got a bloom on it, even though it's tiny. So it's called Pick Me Quick. I don't know, never grown it before. Then I've got peppers of varying kinds, hot peppers, sweet peppers, bells, all that jazz. So mostly I think you can just see grass in the background. There's a parsley. So this is my tomato row, and then a second row of tomatoes of varying kinds. I don't really know how many I've got, maybe 30. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think 30. I just sowed some cantaloupes in this row because the ones that I transplanted died with all the rain. And then I've got a zucchini here, but then one died, so I had to plant a new one. And then a zucchini here that survived, and then the other one died, so I planted a new one. And then my yellow squash. You call these what, courgettes overseas? And you see, there's little baby yellow squash. So they are loaded actually. There's like 4 on there. There's another one. And I'm hoping that the bees are going to really help with production by pollinating these for me. And when I turn around, this is my 2 rows of black raspberries. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, here's the strawberries. And we had a very short harvest. Yeah, they're still, coming. There's a green one. We harvested enough to make a pie and eat a few fresh. But one of the chickens got over here and ate every red strawberry that was there. There's one coming. Oh, and chamomile is everywhere. It just came back from seeds last year. So there's a big bunch of it right there, and lush, lush, lush grass. I can just barely keep up with the grass. There's more chamomile down here, lots of cilantro that I just scattered everywhere. This is a spaghetti squash growing here. More cilantro and chamomile and plenty of weeds. So let's make our way back down here. I was going to show you the first of the black raspberries. They're not ripe yet, but they're turning ripe. That one will be ripe in a couple of days. That's a nice cluster. And then following that will be the wild blackberries in the woods. And so it'll be blackberry pie season. This is my asparagus. I think I had about, maybe 12 plants survive. And I didn't really give them the attention that they needed, but they are growing. I didn't harvest any this year. I wanted to give them a chance to get very well established. You see again, chamomile everywhere. All right, I'm going to attempt to go out this gate and not bump into the electric fence. So here's my orchard. It is full grown with grass. I'm going to buy me a scythe or a scythe attachment to my weed eater and make hay. There's my blueberry. You can see. So I've got, no, you can't see, but there's 2, 3 blueberries there. I'm still carrying the radish around. I need to do something with that. And let me go under the electric fence here. Elderberry right here that I recently planted. Apple and pear behind it. Have a peach here that was growing in the compost. A apple, and behind it a pear. And then over here, this may be a pawpaw. That's what I was trying to grow, but it could be a persimmon because I had seeds from both. An apple, and then behind it a plum. And then go over here, and here is another blueberry. You can see it's loaded with blueberries, and there's 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. And you see my bees up there? You see, maybe you can't, but I've expanded my bees. The one on the left is 2 deep plus a feeder on top, and then the one on the right is just 1 deep with a feeder on top. The one on the right was a swarm that I caught. So I'm going to get in there today and see how it's looking. Kind of excited about that. And then, no, you can't see that either, but up on the hill in that tree right there is a swarm trap. So I'm hoping to catch another. All right. Oh yeah, since we're gonna go, let me turn around and show you the chickens. Wild chickens of the Serengeti. Put you over the top of the fence. They are enjoying clover and red wheat that we sowed last fall. We thought for a while they weren't going to touch the wheat and that we were going to get to harvest it and eat it, but they finally discovered what it was and they've started eating it. Here's a row of marigolds and sunflowers. That is going to be beautiful, hopefully by next month. Lots of clover everywhere. And this is our new broiler pen. This is where we will be raising meat birds through the summer. So I'll show you. This was kind of an expensive little thing to build, $200 and something. I mean, I guess that's not super expensive, but it'll last for many, many years. Where are you birds? They're up under there. Can you see them? Oh, hi. Oh, I bet you would like the radish, wouldn't you? There you go, you can have it. So these are white rocks, and not your typical meat birds, but those will be butchered. And we just move this on the grass every day, and it fertilizes the pasture. It will improve the pasture over time, and then hopefully make way for goats. There are some little tiny sour cherries starting to ripen. Let me see that. Not sure if that will focus. Anyway, that's fun. And we're on the back side of the garden here. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. All right, I think that's it. I mean, there's probably some more things that I could show you. My peonies came and went. They all bloom so beautifully. I've got a marigold, not a marigold, a morning glory in a pot here. My Concord grape is doing very well, and it has little clusters on it of flowers, several. There's another one down here, 2 of them. So there's one. So I'm happy about that. My nasturtiums up there in the hanging basket. Not sure. Oh, you see our poles here that we've bought to fence in this area right here to keep the deer out. See, the nasturtiums are pretty, and a lot of our peaches. Can you see the peaches in the background? A lot of those fell to the ground in a big storm that we had, so we're not going to get near as many. The nasturtiums are pretty. That's about it. Not too much. I'm tired. I should take you down and show you the clematis. They are gorgeous, but I'm not because I've already sat down and I'm finished. And next time it'll be past their time. What I'll do is I'll snap a photo and put it in at the end. So thanks again for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the garden tour. If you've got any questions about anything, say so. I love to hear from you guys. I don't video often. Used to I made a video every week. Used to I made 2 to 3 videos every week. Excuse me. I think there's allergens in the air. So, but I'm not so active, so my videos don't pop up on people's feeds anymore, and that's okay by me. I'm really too busy to be making videos all the time. Okay, I can't stop coughing, so it's time for me to go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month.